This is part 2 of my third pattern making video. If you haven't watched part 1, there is a link in the description below. There are also links to videos 1 and 2. In part 1, I left off adding text for the place on fold instruction right here. I'm going to use the rotate tool to rotate this text 90 degrees. So we'll use this right here. It'll turn it counterclockwise 90 degrees, which is exactly what we want. So now we're going to take this up here and place it where we should have place on fold. Now I'm going to add this line here where we have the place on fold instruction. So I'm going to use this freehand tool. So I'll click off that and then I will use this freehand drawing lines thing. And I'll start. You can either kind of drag it along as a pencil, or you can just use nodes like we did before. And this way you can have just 2 points on the line. If you have this tool here, the Bezier curves and straight lines, you'll need to have them meet is what I've run into. So this one will allow me to just do a couple points. So just like before, I'm just moving the nodes. And the easiest way to get these perfect is to highlight both of them and use this nodes editing tool. So this will align them in a straight vertical line. And then we will continue using this drawing tool to add the additional, I'll just exaggerate these and then we'll zoom in. And I'll add one here and here, and then we'll add kind of the arrows, and then we'll go in, we'll zoom in and edit them. So I've zoomed in a little bit, and the way I do that is I hold down the Control key and then just use the wheel on my mouse to zoom in. So here I'm going to edit the nodes, and I want to make sure that they end up exactly on top of each other so that we have some good clean straight lines. You can really zoom in a lot, and even though it looked like it was in the right place, it was a little off, and that's going to show up when you print the pattern. So we'll just get these all in the right place. You can actually, I might just take this line and get it right, and then I'll copy and paste it around so that we'll take off this one. So we'll just, let's see, I think we want this one straight. So we're going to use that same tool we used before. We highlight those nodes and we come over here and align vertically. We align horizontally. And then let's get this one right. So I'll copy this one, highlight it, and then you can hit Control D and that'll duplicate it. And then we'll use this tool here to flip it. And then we'll just move it down there. So we want to add the same arrow on the other side. We can select these two. Just do copy. And we can group these too. That might be easier. It'll make sure they don't come apart when we drag them. We actually didn't copy it looks like. So I'll do duplicate again, which was Control D. I'll put one back there. And I'll zoom back out. Take this. Delete these two shapes. We'll go through the same process we went down on before, where we'll highlight. We're going to grab these nodes and put them in the right spot. We'll just grab both of them, align them, and we'll grab this shape. If you have these two should be grouped. So it's Control G, or you can go to Object, Group, and now when you click on this, they'll be together. So we will add that there. And now when we zoom out, we have place on fold. And I think we might want to make this text a little smaller, and there are a few ways we can do that. I think we probably want to hit lock, and then we can shrink it. So we can either use these here to shrink it. Pixels is a pretty small measurement, so we can use centimeters, which will make things move a little faster. But we can shrink it until it's about the size we want. So then we can put that here, and we can also, we might want to center it on this line. Probably isn't super important, but it's something we can do to make it look just a little bit more professional. So we'll center it horizontally, and that'll move it a little bit there. Alright, so now I'll repeat some of the steps that we did before on the other pattern piece where we added the sewing line, and we'll add some of the other text that we need to add, like the how many to cut. We could also add the name of the pattern. So I'll do that really quickly, and then I'll show you how we need to save the pattern to create this PDF pattern that we're looking for. Okay, so once again, we're going to take this pattern and we're going to duplicate it by doing Control D, and then we're going to use the indent tool, which was here. So it's path and inset. Sorry, not indent, it's inset. You can also do the same thing for outset. So we're going to use inset, and we'll do it 12 times. So there's 1. Alright, and then again, we're going to go to stroke style, and we'll change it to dashes, whichever dash we think looks best. I kind of like the ones we used before, but maybe we could also do something bigger like that. And you'll notice right here, we have a place on fold. So this dotted line here actually does not represent our sewing line. So we can just go here and move these nodes over. You know, we might actually want to just add 2 and then line these up on the cutting line here. If you were to move these, you could just move these nodes over, but I was just worried it would mess up my curve a little bit. So this one we're going to need to adjust the node again, like we've done before. So we need it straight down, and we'll pull this one over here too, so it's going to be straight down 2. And then we'll straighten that to that one. Probably straighten those. Those might not be completely straight, but it'll be close enough. And then we'll still delete this node. And then we'll zoom in to make sure that they are exactly on there. Once you have these lines overlapping, those dashes should actually just disappear. So that's pretty close. We'll look at this one where it needs to be up here. Alright, so if you zoom out, we now have the front is going to be placed on the fold, and we have the cutting lines all set up. I'm going to quickly add all of the cut 1, cut 2, and the name of the pattern, and I will do that off camera so that you don't have to watch that, and then I'll show you how to save the file. Okay, as you can see, I've added all the text to this PDF, or to this version here, that we had in our original hand-drawn version. So to make our pattern ready to print, we're going to delete this original pattern. And then all of this here, we probably want to group it so we don't move anything off where it shouldn't be. We can hit Control G, or if you go to Object, Group, it'll group everything together. So we're going to want to do that to each of these pieces now that we have them all set up, because that'll allow us to just click them and drag them to where they need to be over here. And just as before, I think we're going to need to flip this one over to make it, well, it looks like it fits right there. So we can just put them on here. This outline here is a page, so this should be the size of a piece of paper that you would typically print on. So when you save as a PDF, this software is only going to save what's in this box here. So we do need to make sure that both of these are in there. I usually like to save my document as an SVG first. So we'll just make this the A-line dress. We're going to save this SVG still. I like to keep it that way in case I want to go back and edit. I want to have that SVG version, so I'm not just stuck with a PDF thing and need to start over from scratch. So we're going to save the SVG, and then we're going to save one more time as a PDF, and that will just be in a PDF that you can import into something else if you want to have the instructions somewhere else. Now we're going to have an A-line dress, and I'll hit save. You can change these settings. I typically leave them as they are, so I would just hit OK at that point, and you've got your PDF version that's ready to publish. Please let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions on this video, and I will try to make updates as I have more things to present. But I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you found it helpful. Thanks.